Habarigani, Mainduga na Dada. This is your brother, your elder, General Abu Amin Ra. Mainduga na Dada, I would like to have just a couple of minutes of your time, or just a few minutes rather, to provide perhaps an answer that is backed by evidence, backed by your knowledge, your wisdom, as you call it, your common sense, and from various other resources. I believe with all my heart and soul that we as a people, meaning African people at this time, are to survive the genocide that we are, the recipients are at this particular time. You know, we've had birth control. It was designed carefully to keep our population controlled in the hands of our enemies and to make sure we were not going to exceed them in population numbers so that they could continue to have political control over us. So listen, my brothers and sisters, I believe the only way that I see we as African people throughout the diaspora and the motherland can survive the decimation of our people is we must organize and defend ourselves on a sovereign piece of land that we control as a united people for global African liberation. That must be the goal. But you see, my brothers and my sisters, we follow all kinds of ideologies, as some say, but I prefer ideology. You see, we do not trust ourselves. We trust, as a matter of fact, our primary enemies to provide information for us that shines light on the path we should take if we are to become a liberated people. But we fail to trust ourselves and we look to the Europeans. Put a little asterisk right there because I'm going to come back to that. The Europeans are our troublemakers. Listen, you see, to all you Marxist intellectuals, you see, Marx, Engels, and that group of people, you know, yeah, they wrote some good books, some good stuff, had some nice ideology for their people in the geopolitical context that people found themselves within. Listen, there are only two classes of people, haves and have-nots, the rich and the poor, the oppressor and the oppressed. Do you understand what I'm saying? No such thing as a middle class. The middle class is an apparition that doesn't exist. So that those who oppress you can be assisted in keeping you under control. So listen, my brothers and sisters. We've got to forget about Marx and Engels. They knew we were enslaved and in slavery at the time. All that material they wrote on capitalism, they didn't include us in that ideological treatise they placed on us. No. They invented a middle class, which doesn't exist. A European model, perhaps, but definitely not an African model. We had two kinds of people: those who were endowed with enough to eat, sufficient everything, or sometimes too much, and those who weren't, or the rich and the poor. But listen, my brothers and sisters, I'm bringing all this up to show you this. We do everything in the world. Listen to any kind of treatise from our master's children and follow them in any dream they have, supposedly for our advancement. Brothers and sisters, there's only one advancement for us. That's the one of survival. And we must do something quickly if we are to survive. Brothers and sisters, we know who the enemy is. The meanings is not my upper class or the capitalists. You know who the enemy is. Don't make this complicated. Your enemy is those who are always oppressing you on one level or another. Those who brought you into slavery and stole your labor for 275 years, more or less. You know who the enemy is. And if you know who the enemy is, was, and always will be, unless you get your game together. So listen up, my brothers and sisters. We have what it takes to do what is necessary. But first we must stand on faith, work towards the total global liberation of African people wherever they may be. And let every African person, a descendant of Africa, get behind this. Get some ideological books that explains how this can be done. There's a fellow I met by the name of Jotaro Agbatin, I think. I can't recall it now. He was a Sierra Leonean at the time. He has several books on Pan-African liberation. Step-by-step course. So you need to check him out. I know his last name is Agboton. First initial is J. I forgot. I don't know what it's walk. I forgot. French. It must have been a walk. Okay. Anyway, read you some ideological treatises or books or pamphlets or whatever you can get on Pan-African liberation. See? You must do this. You can't look to your enemy to provide information to you that's going to liberate you from him. Come on. Let's stop being the laughingstocks of the world. Let's rise up and be the people we are. Let's open the doors that covers up our eternal knowledge bank and let us tap back into the source and become who we are and devise means and ways and materials to assist each other as one by protecting and defending one another for our global African liberation under Pan-Africanism. Do you understand what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters? Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope Facebook allows you to see it without limiting your 5 attachments to it. So I hope you get it if you get a chance to hear this video, and if you like it, by what I like it, I mean agree with some of it or most of it, you'd like to pass it on, please, please share it for me. I'd like to say once again, Yama Nduga Nadada, peace and hotep to you.